Hi everybody. So I figured I would talk about toxins. One in particular is, I'm probably going to pronounce this incorrectly, carcinogens. I think I actually pronounced that correctly though. It's called a carcinogen or carcinogens. So one thing that has always stuck in my mind ever since I started changing my health and following other raw foodists, other vegans, plant-based people, but especially raw foodists, one thing was, okay, this is one person I mention a lot, is Loren Lockman, because I personally really do like listening to Loren Lockman and a lot of other raw foodists, Dr. Robert Morse and Lou Corona, and Dr. Graham, and all these other wonderful people out there who are sharing their testimony too. I do know one thing that always definitely comes up at one point or another is the topic of carcinogens, because it's relating to cooking your food. And so I just kind of wanted to talk about it because, you know, if you are someone who is wanting to be fully raw, or just wants to be vegan or plant-based, I wouldn't say fully raw, but like wants to be vegan or plant-based, still cooking your food, still wanting to barbecue vegan food and stuff like that. There's different, what I'm trying to get at is like there's different levels of health. So even though you go plant-based or vegan, plant-based and vegan, definitely you'll be a heck of a lot healthier than if you were to be on a meat and dairy diet. The fruit, vegetable, meat and dairy and grains, the standard we've all kind of been taught to have over the years growing up, but definitely you'd be a heck of a lot healthier than that. But can you still get sick and can you still develop a problem? Yes. I know the reason why I say that is because I was thinking about it. I'm like, hey, I should probably just throw my thoughts and opinions out there, that, hey, yeah, you can, because, and also I'm one of those deep thinkers. I'm just one of those people where I have deep thoughts and I think all the way down to the root cause of things, and really wanting to analyze things and really like get down to the bottom of it, and so it was making me think, like, some people say, but you're eating plant-based or vegan, how can you develop this problem or that problem and still get sick and everything when you're eating plant foods? Well, when you look at the deeper issue or the deeper reasonings in that, it's the fact of toxins that are created when you cook your food. Like if you still eat bread, if you still eat like regular bread, if you still eat, you take your vegetables and you barbecue them on the grill, or you fry them in a pan, and it develops that browning look, and even most definitely that black charcoal look. From what I understand, you guys, okay, this is just from what I've learned over the years. I definitely remember Loren Lockman always stressing this too, that you are creating a carcinogen, which I pronounced that incorrectly again, a carcinogen. And so when you look that up, a carcinogen is a substance capable of causing cancer in living tissue. So it's cancer causing. You're essentially creating a problem, even though it is a plant food. You're still creating that by cooking your food. And that's why when you look at the different levels of health, when you look at a raw foods way of living and eating for your body, you see how much healthier you are than being just vegan or plant-based. So that's why I say there's different levels of health when you think about it. It depends on how pure you want to be or how far you want to take your health. For a majority of people, just eating plant-based vegan is good enough for them. And for some people, just being vegetarian is good enough for them. So it's purely up your choice how you want to take care of your temple and everything. But when it comes down to these problems and you're like, man, I don't eat meat, or I don't eat all this and that, why do I still have this problem? Well, you kind of have to look at the other ways, really take a look at how you're eating, what you're eating, how you're going about preparing it. And that's why eating the way we naturally are so simple, or like eating the way we're naturally meant to eat is so simple. It's just picking it off the tree and eating it, picking it off the plant and eating it raw, just like that, because there's nothing wrong with it. Leave it up to mankind to cook it and tamper with it and actually create a problem. So essentially we're creating these problems on ourselves, you know. And so the carcinogens, it happens when we make that, cause that, it happens during cooking. And so it's, when you look at the list, besides a lot of other things on the list where a carcinogen is present, there's a lot of other substances out there where that is present, that some human beings do ingest and everything. But when we look at our food, how is that present in our food? It's present in the browning and the darkening of the food that we're cooking. And then it's also definitely, since other people who like to eat meat, it's present in your meat too. So don't like take my word for it. Do your own research. Do your own research on it and see what you find. I'm simply just talking about because I just thought, like, you know what, it'd be kind of make a neat video, because, you know, there's it kind of helps you distinguish between a really healthy diet and a not so healthy diet. Even though we think it's healthy, is it really healthy? You got to look at the really deeper issues of it to really see what is causing this. Because another thing, Loren Lockman, I know he does a lot of fasting retreats, and there's people, he has said he's had people who have been raw vegan for several years, and when they fasted, they still had junk coming out of them. They were still going through symptoms that were symptoms of sickness that were still happening. Even though they were eating raw vegan for several years, they were still having, once they fasted long enough, they were still having things getting purged out of their body, stuff being purged out of their body. So it really made me think, like, you know, even though you're eating like the healthiest diet, you have to look at your past. What were you eating growing up? And of course, it's up to your body when it wants to purge everything and clean house. But you can only do what you can do in your lifespan, of course, too, and what you are willing to go through in the lifespan that you have been given. But it's up to you to definitely keep your stress low about it too, and don't let it consume your life. Just do the best that you can. But I mean, when you look at it, it's like, man, you can be eating so good for so long and still not be completely clean inside. And that can be discouraging. I admit that can be very discouraging when you think about that. Yeah, you can't help but think that's got to be discouraging. But it depends on, what do you value most? What means the most to you? What do you value most? And it's interesting. It's interesting when you look at that, because it kind of makes you think twice that if you ever want to cook your food again, if you ever want to cook your vegetables again, if you ever want to toast again. And so it's like, it kind of dives deeper into another issue of, you know, like, you can heat your food up to a certain temperature, but once it gets above a certain temperature, then it becomes unhealthy. You start destroying it. And so a lot of you guys know, a lot of you health nuts out there know what I'm talking about. If you keep it below a certain temperature, it stays raw, and you can still warm it up. But if you get above a certain temperature, then you start destroying it. And we really don't want to do that. But again, it's totally up to you how far you want to take your health. But it's just something to think about, that, you know, if you've been eating vegan or plant-based for so long, and then you somehow come across a problem, it's like, or your body starts going through something, of course you really can't, you don't know exactly what it is, but you just kind of have to keep in mind like, hey, okay, maybe I should educate myself more, a little bit more on what I'm doing with my food, even though it is plant food, you know, and kind of dive deeper into health. But of course, it's totally up to you how far you want to take your health. So it's just kind of interesting when you think about it and you really look into it and learn more about it. So it's like, man, even though I've been eating this way for so long, I thought I was doing good. Don't get me wrong, you are doing good. You're doing amazing. Doing the best that you can. That's good. Just pat yourself on the back for that. But if there's other things that come up, you can't get mad at yourself. Number one, don't get mad at yourself, and just know that, hey, this is caused because, probably, most likely because of this or that. And so that's why I think there's a lot of people who go, you know, raw vegan. They start feeling a heck of a lot better than they did when they were plant-based vegan, or when they were cooking starches and stuff like that. So I just thought I would talk about that. I'm sure you guys have a lot of thoughts and opinions on that too. Go ahead and voice them in the comments below if you'd like to. I actually love to hear everybody's thoughts and opinions in the comments. So I will stop there. The video has gone on long enough, so I will let you guys go. Remember to love being raw, and if you're not raw, don't stress. It's okay. Just things to think about, you know, to ponder, and it's up to you. It's your life. You live it how you want. And remember to definitely put a big old smile on your face today, you guys. I hope I did that for you, and I will see you guys next video, okay? Bye, guys.